Star versus the Forces of Evil and Star Marco's Guide to Mastering Every Dimension belong to daron, nefcy, Disney Channel, and all other people associated with its creation. Please go support Star versus the Force of Evil and go buy this book. Hello everybody, Raspberry Barrel here, and now it's time to read the 8th chapter in the Star vs. the Forces of Evil Guide to Mastering Every Dimension. This chapter is called Dealing with Family, and I am currently at the beach, so it's a little harder to record, so just try to ignore if there's any weird sounds. Okay guys, and because this is also a long chapter, we'll be splitting it up into 2 different videos. Let us begin. Moon Butterfly. This is my mom. They call her Moon the Undaunted, but they should probably call her Moon the Disappointed, because in general, she's pretty disappointed. I used to be sad about it, but now I realize I'm just super good at disappointing her, so it's really like a skill, you know? I know underneath it all, she just wants me to make the family proud and be a good princess and ultimately a good queen. And super deep down, like way deep down, she's wearing some go-go boots that she got from the pole dancing class under her petticoat. I think she taught me to question things, and I'm pretty sure that frustrates Glosrick. She's also got these crazy magic powers that I never get to see her use, and she does it without a wand. Like, she sticks out her hands and her eyes glow and she can move things, and she grows these huge butterfly wings. Glosrick calls it dipping down. I did it once, but it was hard and it messed up my hair. River Butterfly. Daddy! My dad's the best. He gets disappointed too, but then he does the same thing that I do, and then we laugh at each other, and then he says, "Don't tell your mother." He comes from the Johansson clan. They are almost like people, but dirtier. My Uncle Lump on my dad's side once ate a bear whole. My dad loves nature, but he'll punch an eagle if it's a mean eagle. He's a lot like me in that he will wrestle a clown even if it's not wearing clean underwear. He's cuddly and gives good hugs. Stuff you didn't know about the butterflies. 1. The royal lineage in Muni is matrilineal, meaning the throne is handed down from mother to daughter. A man can only become royalty by marrying a queen or another member of the royal court. 2. My mom and dad actually met on the battlefield when the Johansson clan was summoned from the woods to help the Mumin Guard fight off a great monster attack. It's one of the most historical battles in our history because Butterfly Castle was almost lost to the monsters. 3. When you're royalty, you end up with stuff that is extensive. We have a vacation cabin in a volcano. I've never been to it because it's in a volcano. No one is sure if it even exists because it's in a volcano, but we have a vacation cabin in a volcano. The Diazes. Angie Diaz. Angie is like my second mom, only she never gets mad at me. She's always so sweet and nice. One time she complained the monster fighting was getting too loud, so Marco and I saved up and bought her some headphones. She has a lot of hair, so much hair I think she goes to work somewhere during the day, but not really sure, huh, Marco? She teaches poetry at Echo Creek Community College. Remember she wrote you that poem, says Marco? Oh yeah, dude. It went, "Our lives were so small and puny, till this angel arrived from Muni. Stars like a zany daughter, who sometimes fills our home with water." Raphael Diaz. Raphael cries a lot, and he listens to speed metal. Hey, says Margot, my dad is a sensitive artist, okay? What? He's an artist, says Star. Yes, says Marco. I didn't know that, says Star. What did you think he was doing with all this art in his house, says Marco. That coyote with the long nose on the mantle, that crazy red thing on the lawn, the art shed. Remember, we were trapped inside. It was full of his art. Okay, well, now I know, says Star. Oh yeah, one last thing. When Raphael takes off his shirt, it looks like he's wearing another shirt underneath made out of hair. 5 facts about the Diazes. 1. Raphael was born in Jalisco, Mexico, and Marco's grandma, Abuelita Linda, still lives there. 2. Angie and Raphael met at a cafe in Cleveland, Ohio. 3. Raphael collects old records. 4. Once a month, Angie goes to the local comic book shop and competes in the Monster Trader card game tournament. 5, Raphael and Angie can usually be found cuddling on the couch, but sometimes they take breaks from doing that to shower and or eat. Parents. What to do when they send you through a dimensional portal? Welp, if it hasn't happened yet, it probably will. At some point your parents are going to look at you and say, "We're sending you to another dimension." Huh, that never happens, says Marco. You're thinking, that never happens, but you're wrong. It happened to me, and it can happen to you. I can't tell how many times I've been powering through a gulp slurp in front of the stop and slurp when I overhear some person say, "What are my parents gonna do, send me to another dimension?" That question is always followed by the person either pushing over a dumpster or doing something bad into a payphone. Always under my breath I can mumble, "Yes, person, your parents will send you to another dimension." Not on Earth, says Marco. Yes, even on Earth. It's too late to talk prevention. It's going to happen, so how do you deal? Here are some do's and don'ts from your young woman who's been there. There's a quiz later, so take notes. Don't yell and scream as they're loading your trunk into the carriage. That's about to take you to a new dimension. This will just reinforce their opinion that you're unhinged. The time for negotiation is over. You've been sanctioned. Remember, once they've decided, you can't stop it. Do feed the cat. You're gonna be gone a long time. Your parents have a kingdom to rule. Their servants have vants to serve. No one's going to take care of your cat. Look at a calendar and count the days until the next holiday you'll be home for. Leave 1 scoop of kibble for each day you're gone. If it's over 30 days, get one of these. It's a kitty feeder poster. It's a bit of an investment, but so is your love for your cat. Don't try to pack conservatively. It's important to bring every single thing you have with you. If you're traveling to Earth, it can give you some specific advice. For one, when you bring everything you have, people on Earth will see your stuff and they will know that you're in touch with the material world. You have your feet on the ground. Earth people and people in a lot of dimensions like solid, grounded people. Once you've arrived at your new home, do make it your own. But you're really obligated to use your magic to transform your environment, homeschool, teachers, etc., into something that works for you. Don't just piggyback on someone else's efforts. People are hospitable. Don't take advantage of their hospitality. If you've been a guest in your new home for a few days and you haven't dramatically changed its architecture to look like your room back home, the person who lives in the house is gonna look at you and think, all she does is use our architecture. When is she going to get her own? Is that who you want people to think you are? An architecture bum? Don't be an overachiever. It's alienating, especially if you're an alien. Sometimes I'm tempted to clean up after myself, but I don't want to steal the limelight from Marco, the cleanest guy I know. If there are 2 overachievers in the house, where's the contrast? Be cool with taking the back seat and let your host shine. Traveling with your parents to another dimension. Star gave my parents a spur, says Marco, of the moment gift. A trip to another dimension, specifically to Muni, which is Star's home. It turned out to be a highlight of my parents' anniversary. They loved your fanny packs, Marco, says Star. Yes, the fanny packs came in very handy, helpful, just like I'd planned. Which leads to my point, says Star. To our point, says Marco. What not to pack when you vacation to Muni, says Marco. I think the best way to illustrate this is to go through each person's bag and see what they actually packed. We've got Marco's parents' permission. They think it's cute that we're writing a book, says Star. There's nothing cute about substandard emergency preparedness. Let's have a look, says Marco. Dad's backpack. My dad's backpack is a perfect example of what not to pack. None of the things here would be helpful in an emergency. Paintbrushes and folding easel. Marco's dad is an artist. Instead of taking vacation photos, sometimes he likes to make vacation paintings, says Star. Emergency preparedness rating 0, says Marco. I give this a thinking outside the box ratings of 9, says Star. 4 points for originality and 5 for the cool after trip art show. A bubble bath, says Marco. Useful if you stumble on a hidden hot spring and want to jazz up your already relaxing soak. Emergency preparedness, rating 1. Message oil. Have sore leg muscles from a serious day of exploring? Pull out the old massage oil and give your cleaves an oil rub down. Emergency preparedness, rating number 2. My mother's backpack, says Marco. My mom also has a bag full of things that would not be helpful in an emergency. Summer vacation books. Unless one of these pulp romance / ladies literature books also comes with instructions on how to avoid getting eaten by a giant human guzzling plants in the forest of certain death, they're pretty useless in an emergency. Emergency preparedness rating number 1. Bikini. This goes along with the bubble bath as something you should have with you when you find a mysterious hidden hot spring and want to have a relaxing soak. Emergency preparedness rating number 2. Fruity Island drink, preferably in a crazy coconut pirate tiki glass. Emergency preparedness rating -10. I love crazy coconut pirates, says Star. I'm not even going to touch this one, says Ponyhead. Marco's fanny pack. Finally a pack worth its weight in emergency preparedness gold, says Marco. If you say the words fanny pack really fast over and over again, it kind of sounds like you're saying fan it back, says Star. Space blanket made for 2, says Marco. It has an adorable space bear on it, says Star. This blanket is fire retardant. I specifically chose it as a special emergency addition to my fanny pack because I had a funny feeling that we might run into a multi-headed fire-breathing dragon or two on our vacation in Muni. You did not, says Star. You got me, says Marco. I just liked the Space Bear emergency preparations rating. Teensy Tiny Book of Knots. I bought this teensy tiny book because I liked the cover, says Marco. Tiny tots are so cool. Almost as cool as Space Bear, says Star. Star and I used it to tie up the multi-headed fire-breathing dragon that we thought had eaten my parents, says Marco. But it hadn't, says Star. Emergency preparedness rating 10. Sigh. That was a fun trip, says Star. Dilemma whistle. Perfect for those moments when you're about to get devoured by a field of monsters whose headgear resembles beautiful flowers. Emergency preparedness rating number 7. That is where we're going to push pause in this chapter. The rest of the chapter is a lot about the Ponyhead family. So we will get to that in the next video. So yeah, in this chapter we talked a lot about family. We learned a bit about Moon and that she took some pole dancing classes, and we learned that Moon and River met on the battlefield. We basically already knew all the stuff about the Diazes and Star's weird little chapter all about what to do and don't do when your parents are about to send you to the portal. And we learned about what Marco thinks is important in a fanny pack. I hope you all enjoyed this reading, and we'll see you in part 2 of Chapter 8. Star versus the Forces of Evil and Star Marco's Guide to Mastering Every Dimension belong to Daron, Nefcy, Disney Channel, and all other people associated with creation. Please go support Star versus the Force of Evil and go buy this book.